from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Good morning and thank you for being with us. Welcome back from Sports with Ruben Pima Kasera Chibirango. It is Good Morning Uganda Extra, an extension of Good Morning Uganda. In case you've just joined, I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono. But just a reminder, we are always here from the hour of 6:30. We open up our morning show with a lot of informative talks. We make sure you're well versed with what is happening locally and globally all over the globe, but also have some light moments, some jokes here and there to spice up, to kickstart your morning. So make it a point, make it a date with us every weekday so that you begin very informed and you're able to fit in any discussion worth of a national issue or global issue because you got the information as you began your day. Now, this is exactly 10 past the top of the hour, which is 9. And we move into Good Morning Uganda Extra. I have my guests, and of course, I'm very excited. Why? Because the people I have handle issues of agriculture training in this country. And when we talk about agriculture, most of the times we all say agriculture is the backbone of our economy. Backbone, 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 backbone. But actually, then you get to know that actually, you have about 40% of the population in commercial agriculture. The 60 are in subsistence agriculture. Then is that the backbone? So many of them are not getting even any money out of agriculture. They're simply growing for their stomachs. Eating, it is not financially or economically benefiting them. Move away from that. Then you move through our villages. You find one or two farmers, I must say. The rest are people who have what they have, but they're not in farming. One has 2 banana plants, the other one 3 cassava. So that is the backbone. However, today I have men who have been at the top of one of the oldest agricultural colleges in this country. I want to say oldest, and many will agree with me, that is Bukalasa Agricultural College. I've seen many people who have come from this place having very good knowledge in agriculture, and actually a number of them practically participating in agriculture. You know, in Uganda there are many things that are interesting. You find a professor of economics not even having a kiosk. You find a veterinary doctor who doesn't even have a cow. You find an agriculture extension worker who even doesn't have a garden. They're like, But with the few students I've interacted with, at least many of them from Bukalasa are into agriculture themselves. And I want to begin by commending you for that job very well done. I've gone to another cabin, you're aware, and ask them, where is your garden, my friend? How are you going to preach a gospel you're not part of? So join me to welcome my guest this morning. I happen to have the principal of Bukalasa Agricultural College, Calvin Kisoro Rure. You're most welcome.
Thank you very much.
And I also have, that is the academic registrar, Bukalasa Agricultural College, that is Samuel Galiwango. He's also with me this morning. And what we are going to be discussing, but before, let me say good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Nyonyitono.
I'm very excited. Last time I heard you, it was about the graduation. Now it is not graduation, it is agriculture.
Absolutely.
And today I want to look at actually a very interesting topic. That is Uganda Skills Development Program, a pathway to agricultural development, a case of Bukalasa Agricultural College. Now, when I listen to this, one of the things that I like is skills development program. Today, many people in the agricultural sector are still locked. That even when you want to introduce a new thing to them, a farmer finds it very okay to tell you, bajjajja ffe baalimanga bwe bati emyaka gyonna era baabazanga emmere era baatundanga akati biki bye mutugamba. So skills development, a pathway to agricultural development. And first, I want to begin with a principle here. For the good of our viewer, when we talk about Bukalasa Agricultural College, what exactly transpires at Bukalasa? And you've been around for a very long time. How old are you now, so that we can judge the weaknesses and the challenges and successes we've had in agriculture with a college of decades, if you've not been able to impact on our communities?
Thank you very much, presenter. I also want to take the same opportunity to say good morning, our viewers and everybody who is on this show this morning. You really said it very, very well, that Bukalasa Agricultural College is one of the oldest, but I think I would say it is the oldest agriculture institution in Uganda at our level, because others came a little bit later. And looking at who we are as Bukalasa Agricultural College, we are almost clocking 100 years of existence. And looking at that trajectory of 100 years, we have seen it all, because we started before when we were still under colonialism. We graduated through independence, and we've seen the institution growing from a one-course institution to a number of them right now, because we have agriculture, we have veterinary, or what we call animal husbandry, we have animal nutrition, we have agribusiness, we have horticulture, we have agricultural mechanization. All this is our contribution to churning out individuals who are able to serve the country in those different fields for the past 90 years plus. Yes.
Very interesting. 90 years plus. We are where we are. I must say we've made some strides in the field of agriculture, though a lot needs to be desired. We still lack, I think, professionals in this sector. And you've talked about churning out, but well, we still need more.
Yes.
And I think that also regards to our colonial mentality, that when you tell someone to go into agriculture, do a course in agriculture, many may shun, yet not forgetting that on their body is a stomach that must eat, that must drink, and is the ground that gives these bases of food. I'll tell you, agriculture? But of course, I'm happy that of late people have picked up, and they have, with modernization and moving away from that traditional, when you talk of a farmer that comes in the picture. You know, when you talk about a farmer, in UK, a farmer is someone different. When you talk about a farmer in Uganda, what goes to the mind of a person is that man in ragged clothes, with a hoe, or, you know. But I'm happy we've moved away from that. That now you can talk of a farmer, and farmers have done some good improvement. Now, when we talk about Uganda Skills Development Program, I'll begin with the principle. What is this program about? What is it all about? We've had a number of programs, skilling culture, skilling this, but Uganda Skills Development Program, a pathway for agricultural development.
Thank you very much. When we talk about the Uganda Skills Development Program, or project for that matter, we are talking about, first of all, starting from the National Development Plan of this country. We are talking about industrialization. And when we go into industrialization, for our part as agriculture, we want to ensure that there is agro-industrialization. And the agro-industrialization, we need production, we need the skills in value addition, we need the marketing, we need the whole lot of things that develop the agriculture sector. And this is handled by very many different subsectors. For us, our role is in training, giving out the required manpower that would work in this sector. The Ministry of Education in 2010 came up with a 10-year strategic plan of reforming education in Uganda, and one of them was to transform trainings in the training institutions. And just to go through a short story, we were looking at how do we produce graduates who do not just show papers in the community that you have been talking about. That I've been to Bukalasa, I have a certificate, I have a diploma, I have, here are my papers. But instead of looking at papers, we are now saying, what can you do? What can you offer to the society? Then we also looking at, as Bukalasa or as training institutions, we are close to 42 million people today. And we know that the majority of those are youth who are not skilled. But we have limitations of those who can enter the institution. Bukalasa Agricultural College was designed to accommodate 300 people. But now we have to expand and give access to a number of people to come into Bukalasa. How do we open up? Not only in Bukalasa, because we are also looking at other sister institutions that we are working on in this project. So the Ministry of Education came up with that plan, and to implement the plan, the ministry came up with a 5-year project called the Uganda Skills Development Project. This is supported, it's a government project supported by the World Bank. It has been operating since 2016, and because of COVID, of course, it was supposed to have ended a little bit earlier, but we had some lag period when we were not operating during the lockdown. And this project is looking at reforming training institutions to offer skills through developing new curricula, upgrading infrastructure at the institutions, upgrading the staff themselves, and also looking at equipping the institution as it is. So when we are talking about Bukalasa today, we are talking at Bukalasa with other institutions that are in a cluster. This cluster has Bukalasa Agricultural College as the center of excellence. We have Rwentanga Vocational Training Institute, which is in Imbarara. We also have Sese Farm Institute, which is in Kalangala. We also have Kabera Maido Vocational Training Institute, which is in Kabera Maido district. These are cluster institutions working together to promote agricultural training. But for these other vocational training institutes, they have niches where they are specializing. For example, Kabera Maido has the agro-processing. Sese Farm Institute has taken on livestock production, and the Rwentanga has taken on agricultural production. But all the three are now at Bukalasa. So these other institutions are working with Bukalasa to promote all the three. And this is the role of this project, to make sure that we upgrade, we bring out the right skills, and also improve on the access for these for whoever wants to train. We want to train as many, to skill as many as possible in this country.
Now I'll go to the academic registrar.
Yes, please.
Now when we talk about upgrading and skilling as many as possible, how have you done, or how is this being done? Because you have about 300 that you can accommodate. Now we are here talking about more people into this institution. Then also, when you talk about equipping these institutions to be able to deliver the skills necessary for their trainees, how has Bukalasa acted as a center of excellency?
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. I'm happy to be part of this show this morning. Like the presenter said, we've been here before, but now we come back for a different theme altogether. So all that we want to see is that we increase skills development, but also promote it as much as possible so that many people benefit from this program. As the principal has already alluded to this, the skill development program came in with a number of deliverables, but some of these hinge on the need to transform the way we provide skilling to the population. As Bukalasa, our core mandate, of course, to train the manpower that's necessary for the agricultural sector, and our graduates have been spread all over the country, serving in many sectors. And I'm happy to note that, like the presenter said, that many of our graduates at least are doing something. I mean, it's a good sign that actually doing a useful job for this nation. Now, part of the skill development program came with a number of deliverables, and some of these, of course, was to transform the training that we do. And for many years, like many institutions, we had quite a number of challenges that some of the graduates go out of the field, and the thing they do, some kind of, sometimes don't match the requirements of the markets. And we realize that the curricula, of course, becomes obsolete, and some of these skills have to be replenished and made new time and again. So the skill development program realized that, yes, we now need to respond to the needs of the sector, of course, captured under the National Development Program. We need to industrialize, we need to create employment, we need to increase food security, but also need to primarily go into agro-industrialization. So as a college, we took this up, and part of the support that government provided to the college was, of course, to skill the staff, give them the capacity to be able to have a new outlook into the field. And part of this capacity was to enable them develop a new curricula which responds to the needs of the market, but also do a general turnaround of our staff in terms of attitude and perception. So the new program, skill development program, came up with 3 new programs that we developed, given the capacity that our staff were given. But also want to thank government that part of this development, like the principal put it, was to train Bukalasa with an internationally recognized institution in Canada. Dalhousie University in Canada is a renowned institution in agricultural skilling, and therefore part of this project to train us with that institution with reputation that actually all the time came over, worked with us all through this process, developed curricula, and put many things in shape. So part of this delivery was to come up with 3 new curricula under 3 new programs, and the 3 programs are crop production and business management. We have livestock production and business management, but also have agri-processing and business management. So these programs are now attainable at the college. We have enrolled them. We have recruited students under these new 3 programs. And as we speak now, we have over 300 students enrolled for these new programs. These new programs, of course, have come with new challenges because they are very new, and the public doesn't seem to pick them outright. because we used to run the traditional programs in agriculture, animal husbandry, but the new change as we transform the minds of the people brings these new programs which need to constantly inform the people. Those programs are new, they are hands-on, and the skills that students get are relevant to the labor market. Immediately students go out. Even before they complete training, they're already employable. So we really feel proud that we have this undertaking in our midst. We also want to increase enrollment of these students under these new programs. And I think the reason why we're here is to continuously make noise about them so that the public knows what we have in Bukalasa.
The 3 new programs.
Exactly. And how we can interest a new entrant to come and for these 3 programs. So at Bukalasa, we are currently running these programs at diploma level, but the training institution that Principal talked about under the cluster are going to focus on the certificate students under the 3 new programs. So Kabarama will focus in agri-processing, Rentanga will specialize in crop production, and then Sese Farm Institute will specialize in livestock production and business management. So they will handle focus on the certificate aspects, and then Bukalasa will focus primarily on the diploma training. Now, another twist on this new program, the deliverable, is to increase access to training, to skilling in agriculture. As we do the long-term 2-year programs at diploma level, the program also requires us to increase access, to open up the gates of Bukalasa to the practitioners in the field of agriculture. So whether be a farmer or a practitioner at household level, if you want to pick a skill in rabbit production, in poultry, our gates are now open. So we have opened up an opportunity for people to come for short courses, 1 week, 2 weeks. So you can come and pick a skill at the college, pick a certificate, go and practice and become more competent. So when we do that, I think we're going to build a team of professionals, people of knowledge in the sector who can do the things that you want and then push our economy forward. Yes.
Very interesting. I love the fact that now there are also short courses, because one of the things that has deterred successful commercial agriculture in this country is people having this at the back of their minds, that agriculture is just anything for anybody. You know, you tell someone, say, now Robert, having a plantation, do I need to go and study? Poultry, we grew up. What are you telling me? We've made agriculture something so simple.
Absolutely.
You tell someone, I think much, you need to go and study about the cows. These herdsmen here have thousands of cows. They have even never seen any blackboard. Now you tell these rabbits. So we've made agriculture so simple. At the end of the day, we've not benefited. We've remained in subsistence.
Absolutely.
And then the other was that those that go and train, it is more of you finish senior 6, the way our education system is. So if someone has not gotten an opportunity to say, I'm going for veterinary medicine, I'm going for crop whatever, then they miss it. But now with this new initiative, why I'm so excited, I'm very passionate about agriculture.
Absolutely.
And I know that to make good or make money in agriculture, knowledge is paramount.
Surely. Surely.
Actually, I tell people crops and animals are living things.
Absolutely, it's true.
Well, primary one science at Nakasero Prime, living things. So for you, when you go into agriculture, you're dealing with things that react, fall sick, need treatment, and speak. You go to your garden and it is saying, well, so if you don't have, it is communicating, help when it is still so early. So I'm very much interested with that new initiative. People to have these short courses.
Yes.
If I'm going to have a piggery farm, if I can have my 2 weeks or have knowledge, I think that is a very good principle.
Yes, and one thing that we also have to be excited about is that now, when we are talking about the new curricula that we have developed the 6 of them, 3 for diploma and 3 for certificate. It's very good that they are modularized. This one means that they are like compartmentalized. You can complete one unit and graduate in it. So you have like each semester, you can decide to pick 1 or 2 modules if that is what you are interested in. It can be interest, but it can also be affordability. If you can afford to take only 1 module, we can offer you that module and we graduate you in that. You are examined, you sit for national examination by UBTEP, you were examined and it is recognized internationally. So if it is in poetry, you can say, for me, I've graduated in only poetry and the rest, if I need, I'll come back later. But for now, let me go home and do my poetry. That's where, and you can also be employed in that. Somebody may want only poetry specialist, so can take you on to be his poetry or her poetry advisor. So that is the good thing about this new approach to our training. So it's like a buffet. You just pick what you want and go and enjoy. Yes.
Now also, let's look at another interesting issue, which is accessibility. Bukalasa is not very near. Neither is it very far. Where I come from, they say a place is far when you don't have a relative there.
Sure.
We saw Christmas, people traveled miles and miles. So how flexible? Because also the other disturbing thing with agriculture is a practical course. There is not theoretical. We are going to talk about poetry, and then you have pictures and screens. You must be there. That's why students from Bukalasa excel, because they are hands-on. And the job market today requires hands-on. Theory can land you into problems.
Sure.
So how then do you handle this? All these courses, must they be residential? That if I'm going to do a module, maybe 3 months, so I have to camp at Bukalasa? Yes, Principal.
Yeah, thank you very much. These courses, as you highlighted it, they are quite hands-on. You can't do it by correspondence. You must be at the institution. And the good thing is that now we have all the facilities. You can come and study from the institution itself. But also, the community around has also been very innovative. So when you come, you can negotiate with them. They can accommodate you, feed you, and that one is now a discussion between you and the owners of those dwelling places. So you can be there. If you have come for a specific module, we may not necessarily make it longer. Because if you are doing this formal curricula, then we have to take you a little bit longer, because you are also taking on other things. But if you've come for just a specific module, instead of 3 months, it can take you 1 month, so that it is a little bit cheaper for you. Yes.
Very interesting, I must say. Now, many people that are counting losses in agriculture find ways how you can get to Bukalasa and have a specific module. I know people in different businesses. Someone has been in poultry for the last so many years. They will tell you, I've educated my children, I've done this through poultry. For cows, oh, those are so many. Cattle. When we go to rabbits, it's something picking up. I must say. Picking up, though I still need to visit Bukalasa. I don't understand that business very well. Then when you go to a number of, when you go to crops, the people that are traditional growers of maize, but they will tell you, you know, so there's so much that you need to go and understand. Now, let's also look at affordability.
Yes.
I know one of the things in our constitution, education is a right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But I must say, it ceases to be a right. Bukalasa, it is not under universal anything.
No.
You know, we have brothers, universal education, universal secondary. No, there's no universal there. So that means someone has to pay. for these courses. How friendly, much as we are telling people there's an opportunity here, knowledge is power.
Yes,
and someone told me, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. And indeed, many of our farmers are working in ignorance. Post-harvest losses are like post-harvest losses.
Yes.
Everything is a mess. Our academic registrar.
Yes, please.
Affordability.
Yes, our programs, especially for the certificate and diploma programs, because for these ones, we normally enroll school leavers, and these are full-time. For certificate, senior 4, school leavers who have passed English and mathematics, but also the relevant science subjects in agriculture, biology, chemistry, and so on. But also for diploma, under the same arrangement, our students are also full-time. These are senior 6 leavers who have done science combinations, and the National Council for Education, somebody at least has a principal pass and maybe 2 subsidiary passes. So when all of these, both for the skills development programs, but also for our conventional programs, but specifically for the skills development, our tuition per semester ranges from 800 to 1 million, and that is a full-time student, okay? So that means that somebody has to come to the college, is accommodated, is fed, and also has undergone through the training, primarily. But also because our facilities for accommodation sometimes are limiting, we give up to our students opportunity to look out for their own accommodation. So like the principal said, we have hostel owners around the college who offer students, decent accommodation where they can go for. But once a student is a non-resident, then they're exempted from accommodation and feeding. So therefore, the tuition lowers, maybe from 1 million to something 600 a semester. So we run these programs for the 2 years, and then students leave. For the short courses, we are piloting this area very ably, and because the short courses benefit both our students, but also people who are external from the college. So for our students, we charge a nominal fee of 90,000 per course. And for the non-students, people come from without the college, we are currently charging 150. So 150 excludes accommodation and feeding. So if somebody wants to come to the college for a week, then we can make arrangement for someone to be accommodated for any added cost. And of course, in all way that shouldn't exceed 150 again for the 5 days. So a person who is not a student will basically part with something not more than 300 for a 5-day short course. But I'm also saying, like the principal said, if people can really, if somebody is working for an organization, they have an establishment, we are also flexible, so we can reach out to you wherever you are at the workplace. If you say, I have a poultry farm and I have my workers here, they are 10, we can be flexible. We can reach out to that farm, negotiate the terms, and then bring our trainers and then train from the premises. We can only decide to conduct an exposure to a farm because we partner with so many actors in the sector. And if we realize that there is a skill that is not available at the premise, we can now link you to another partner, and then the learners can be moved to that place to pick the skill that is lacking at the premise. So the flexibility is with us. We can make those arrangements, but we wish that physically people come to the college and also appreciate our facilities and enjoy what we have, and then we can all together move the agenda forward. Thank you.
Very interesting on the issue of flexibility. Many of you have farm managers that end up killing almost all animals. I have a friend of mine, Frank Baine, he once told me he had a cow that was sick, but the manager could not even notice because he didn't have, the farm manager didn't have any knowledge about cows. So by the time he made that phone call, it was too late to save the animal. And many of us here in Kampala, commissioners, permanent secretaries, TV presenters, you hear people, you have a farm somewhere.
True.
And what happens is you rarely go there.
Yeah.
True.
So you're relying on phone calls, but this person has no information. The boys at this farm don't have any information. So if there's a window that even you can train these clusters and let them know what they're supposed to do,
Absolutely.
I think it is for the benefit of the owner actually.
Yeah.
Because you may never have time to be there yourself.
It is
But
true.
if these young boys and women know what they're supposed to do and do it accurately, then I think it's worth investing in them.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we are greedy and we're like, after training them, they'll disappear. But organizations where we work train us. So rather than counting losses, rather lose on training people so that they know what they are doing very well for your job. Well, time is flying so fast, and I'll be getting my final remarks from each of my guests this morning regarding this is the skills development program, which we believe is a pathway to agriculture development, Bukalasa being the center of excellence. And I'll begin with the academic registrar, getting your final remarks.
Okay, my final remarks, of course, include one is to thank you for the time you have given us. We remain a college whose mandate is to train. At this time around, we are very flexible. We have quite diverse programs, especially under the skill development project. We have diversified the way we train. We have the facilities. Kindly come and take advantage of this opportunity. This January, we have advertised quite a number of short courses, and we are happy that we are receiving very positive response from people interested. So kindly take advantage of this opportunity. Come and pick a skill. Knowledge is power. We can never be good agriculturists unless we venture out to look for knowledge, and the knowledge really drives whatever we do. The things that happened last week or last month, this time they can be obsolete, because science periodically gives us new ways of doing things. So once we get exposed to new knowledge, of course, we become relevant in things that we do. We become more marketable, we do best things, we add quality, and then we enjoy the agriculture that all of us do. Thank you.
Most welcome. Principal.
Thank you very much, our hosts. I want to thank UBC for hosting us this morning. And I think it has been a very great opportunity for our viewers all over the world and all over the country to interact with you. We thank you so much for having spent this morning to be with us. And I want to say that Bukalasa, as it were, is still growing strong. And we want to thank all those who have been able to work with us for the 90 years that we have been together. Those who have passed through Bukalasa, those who have had their siblings through Bukalasa, we do hope that we shall continue to be partners. We want to thank our partners, those who are helping us to skill the trainees that come to Bukalasa. The farms where we go for industrial training, I think this is a very good opportunity for us that you have given us. And as I close, I also want to add something which you asked, maybe which I wanted to add on a little bit on the issue of affordability, because this is a very, very key issue in skilling. Skills acquisition and provision is a very expensive matter.
True.
It's quite expensive because you use a lot of resources to skill. And under this kind of training, I think from what the academic registrar presented, when we talk of tuition alone, we cannot go slightly below $1 million per semester, and that is how we are right now. The Ministry of Education has given some support to the trainees, but still it is, you can see that it is really expensive, but we are in negotiation with the government to ensure that at least whoever comes to Bukalasa, there is a way government can support, can subsidize. The government is already doing a lot, but when now it comes to the consumables that we use, we still need that support, which the trainees cannot afford. So we pray that government continues to be with us and give us that support so that we can skill as many Ugandans as possible. I thank you very much, and we continue skilling. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. Kisoro Rule, who happens to be, that is the principal. Thank you so much for your time. And of course, the academic registrar, Gali Wango Samuel. Thank you for being part of this show. And above all, our viewers in this festive season, thank you for being with us right from the hour of 6:30 till now. We appreciate your time, your feedback. Thank you so very much. Well, all I can say is agriculture, you need knowledge, you need information, you need skills. We should move away from this ancient thinking that agriculture is something we can just do without getting knowledge. That is why we find that a big number of our population has remained in subsistence farming, because they have not sought the knowledge that is needed. Some are counting losses because of lack of knowledge. Now, with these short courses, I think it is something that we should all embrace. Because remember, more of the population is migrating to urban centers and they are running away from agriculture. Yet we all have to feed, eat, and drink. Now that brings high costs of food. It is better you learn, you practice. And finally, in the Garden of Eden, the Lord said, I'll bless the works of your hands. I feel he talked about tilting the land. But how would you tilt the land? With skills or no skills? Have a lovely day. God bless you. Stay safe. Do not be lost in the festive season excitement. Plan your journeys on time. Eat and drink responsibly. See you tomorrow, God willing.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.